Philadelphia news, team of my heart. The Philadelphia 76ers are exploring a crucial move that could reshape the team's future. In this latest Sixers news update, we break down the potential signing of a former $80 million player. You know the feeling, high expectations followed by the reality of unmet promises. Could this player reignite his career with the Sixers, or is it a gamble too risky to take? The team is at a crossroads, and every decision counts. This isn't just another rumor, this is the kind of Sixers news that can make or break the season. With the playoffs on the horizon, you can't afford to miss out on what this move could mean. Stay ahead of the game and dive into the details with us as we explore the pros and cons of this potential addition. Subscribe now to stay updated on all Sixers news and ensure you never miss a critical update that could impact the team's road to a championship. You're looking for some fresh Sixers news, and there's a lot of buzz right now about the team making moves to fill that power forward spot. You know the Sixers need depth, especially after seeing how the frontcourt performed last season. It's no secret that finding the right player can make or break the team's chances of going deep in the playoffs. And here's where things get interesting, there's a specific player on their radar, a sharpshooter known for his three-point accuracy. But let's get real, is he really what the Sixers need? You've seen this story before. A player comes in with a specific skill set, but it's not always what the team truly requires. Sure, this guy's got range. He's been paid the big bucks before, even had a contract worth $80 million. But the question is, can he do more than just shoot threes? The Sixers need someone who can handle the physicality of playing power forward, not just hang out beyond the arc. Imagine the frustration if you pick up a guy who's great at one thing, but struggles when it comes to the dirty work in the paint. You don't want to see Embiid carrying the load alone, right? You need someone who can stretch the floor and bang down low when needed. That's the pain point here, finding a player who fits into the Sixers system without forcing the team to compromise on defense or rebounding. So, what's the solution? You've got to weigh the pros and cons. This player might not be the perfect fit, but he could still bring something valuable to the table. His last season, although not as explosive as his best years, showed flashes of what he can offer. Shooting nearly 38% from three, he's still a threat from deep. If you place him alongside the likes of Embiid and Maxey, his role becomes clear: spread the floor, give your stars room to operate, and make the defense pay for leaving him open. But here's the thing, you've seen the Sixers succeed with role players like this before. Think about JJ Redick or Georges Niang. They weren't the most versatile players, but they knew their role, executed it well, and made life easier for the team's main weapons. The question is, can this potential signing do the same? Can he step into that role and provide the spacing the Sixers need without being a liability on the other end? Now, before you get too invested, there's another name in the mix. Someone who's already proven he can handle the physical demands of playing power forward while also providing leadership and toughness. This guy might be a better fit for what the Sixers need right now. But that's a conversation for another time. For now, think about this, if the Sixers go after this sharpshooter, it's a move that could either pay off big time or leave you wondering what could have been. Keep an eye on the latest Sixers news because this offseason is far from over, and the decisions made now will set the tone for the season ahead. You've seen this scenario play out before, players come in with high expectations, and then the reality sets in. The Sixers have had their fair share of signings that didn't quite pan out the way fans hoped. So, when you hear about this potential addition, you can't help but wonder, will this be another one of those cases? Will this sharpshooter actually deliver what the Sixers need, or will he struggle to meet the demands of the role? One of the biggest concerns is how this player fits into the Sixers' current lineup. Sure, he can shoot, but can he defend? You've watched enough Sixers games to know that defense is key, especially when it comes to making a deep playoff run. The Sixers can't afford to have someone on the court who becomes a liability on the defensive end, even if they can knock down threes with consistency. You're looking for a player who can do more than just stand at the perimeter waiting for an open look. And then there's the issue of consistency. This player had one breakout season that earned him a hefty contract, but since then, his production has dropped significantly. You have to ask yourself, can he return to that form, or is he past his prime? You don't want to see the Sixers invest in someone who peaked years ago and is now just trying to hang on in the league. It's frustrating when a player comes in with a reputation that doesn't quite match up with what they can actually deliver on the court. But let's not forget the potential upside. This guy can still shoot, and in the right system, he could be a valuable piece. You've seen what floor spacing can do for this team. When the court is spread out, it opens up driving lanes for guys like Embiid and Maxey. It forces the defense to make tough choices. Do they collapse on Embiid in the paint, or do they stay out on the shooters? Adding another reliable three-point shooter could make the Sixers' offense even more dangerous. However, you also know that shooting alone isn't enough. The Sixers need toughness, rebounding, and the ability to switch on defense. If this player can't bring those elements to the table, it might not be worth the gamble. You've seen other teams expose the Sixers' weaknesses in the playoffs, and you don't want that to happen again. It's all about finding the right balance between offense and defense. Then there's the chemistry factor. How will this player fit in with the rest of the team? You know that chemistry can make or break a season. The Sixers have a core group that works well together, and adding a new piece can sometimes disrupt that. You don't want to see the team take a step back because of a signing that doesn't gel with the existing roster. You've got to weigh all these factors when considering whether this potential addition is the right move. The Sixers are at a critical point where every decision matters, and you can't afford to make the wrong choice. As the offseason continues, you'll be keeping a close eye on the latest Sixers news to see how this situation develops. You've been thinking about how this potential addition could impact the Sixers, and there's a lot at stake. The Sixers need a player who can not only shoot but also contribute in other areas. You're well aware that simply having a sharpshooter isn't enough if he can't hold his own defensively or on the boards. But then again, you can't underestimate the value of spacing in today's NBA. A player who can consistently hit threes forces the defense to spread out, making life easier for Embiid and Maxey. It's a delicate balance, and you're wondering if this player can strike it. You know the importance of making the right move. The Sixers are looking to go all the way, and every decision made now could be the difference between a deep playoff run and another early exit. You're hoping for a player who can provide that extra edge, someone who complements the existing talent without taking away from it. But you also don't want to see the team take on a player who's a one-trick pony, especially when there's so much on the line. Now, picture this player in the Sixers lineup. He's out there on the perimeter, ready to knock down a three when Embiid kicks it out to him. The defense is scrambling, trying to cover both the paint and the shooters. It sounds good in theory, but you're still wondering, can he do more? Can he step up in those gritty moments when the game is on the line? That's what you're really interested in. And here's where things get real. The Sixers have had success with players who understood their roles and executed them perfectly. You think back to the days of J.J. Redick, who was lights out from beyond the arc but also fit seamlessly into the team's system. You want someone who can replicate that success, who knows their role and doesn't try to do too much. It's about finding the right fit, and you're hoping the Sixers get this one right. But you also can't ignore the other side of the coin. This player had his best season a few years ago, and since then, his numbers have dipped. You're worried that he might not be able to recapture that form, especially as he's getting older. The last thing you want is for the Sixers to bring in someone who's past their prime and can't contribute at the level needed. It's a risk, and you're not sure if it's one worth taking. Now, here's the moment of truth. You've been thinking about all these factors, trying to figure out if this player is the right move for the Sixers. And if you haven't guessed by now, the player in question is Davis Bertans. That's right, the sharpshooter who once signed an $80 million contract but hasn't quite lived up to it since. Did you know it was him all along? So, what do you think? Is Bertans the right fit for the Sixers, or should the team look elsewhere? If you want to stay updated on all the latest Sixers news, make sure you subscribe and click the bell. You don't want to miss out on any of the action as the team makes these crucial off-season moves.